Draft day. That's right. The Eagles picking 32nd. Will they stay there and grab a player? Will they try to move up to get a player they really like? Or will they try to move back and get a couple more draft picks? It is an unknown at this point. But Bill Colarulo will have his draft analysis coming up because we have a hotter story going on right now. Your Fighting Phils got swept by the New York Mets. And ladies and gentlemen, the numbers were not good. The big hitters in the lineup went 5 for 46 in this series for a 109 batting average, and we can go over it inning by inning if you desire on all the opportunities that they squandered in this game. They had a guy thrown out at the plate. They took a lead going into extra innings, and they couldn't hold it. Jordan Romano, I know people are going to rip him today, but I got to be honest with you. And he threw a couple good pitches that they put in play. So I don't know if I'm going to blast him today or look at this Phillies team overall and admit that there's just something missing. And I thought there was coming into the season. I thought it'd be kind of a step back year. I used the word stale for the Phillies. I think that certainly applies now. Now, the brass doesn't seem to be that worried about it. Rob Thompson had some things to say yesterday, which is, they normally say things that aren't dire when the fans look at it and go, this is dire. Fans right now think it's dire. And fans right now have kind of admitted that the Mets are a better team. They got a hungrier look to them. When you win games the way the Mets do, when you persevere, you keep coming at you, you're going to win games. You're a better team. You got a hunger to you. The Phillies don't seem to have that hunger. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, whether they shake this up, whether they make a trade, whether they move some guys, whether the starting pitching staff can carry them through some of these bad spots. But right now, it's not looking good. And if you want to pretend that it's early like the John Crux of the world, I think you're misguided. I think you got to look at this team right now as having the same woes that beset them in the past where hitting just does not come through. And they can't win games by out-hitting people, even though their pitching is pretty good. Bill Colarulo is with us. Ray Dunn is with us. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Ray. Yeah, this Phillies team, it's frustrating to me and very alarming. And I don't want to hear that it's just April anymore because I went back and I looked at, you remember when the Phillies swept the Dodgers? July 11th of 2024. We were feeling an all-time high last year on that Phillies team. They swept the Dodgers in July. They improved their record to 61-32. Since that day, this is a 47-47 baseball team. And I'm starting to worry that you're not watching a team underperform. You're just watching a mediocre baseball team. You have a 94-game sample size now. This is a 500 baseball team. And if you throw in what they did in the NLDS, it's even worse than that. And I look at this lineup, and so far this season, yeah, they're in the top 10 in batting average. They're in the top 5 in on-base percentage, but they are 21st in slugging percentage. The way this lineup is built, you can't be in the bottom of the major leagues in slug. And then you look at the pitching staff, they're 21st in ERA. So when we factor all that in, 47-47 since July 11th last year, 21st in slug, 21st in ERA, I'm starting to worry that we're just watching a mediocre team, Mike, and this is who they are.
I would put them a tad above mediocre. I don't think they're mediocre. I think they're a good team. A tad above mediocre means they're maybe in peril of not getting into playoffs, considering what the National League West is doing. But I agree with you on what you can't pretend that things aren't wrong and that it's early and it's this and it's that. They have pretty much carved out a profile of them melting down offensively. And they're kind of doing the same thing right now. And I want to go over inning by inning, but I first want to hear for the manager, because the manager is starting to tick me off a little bit. And maybe this plays right into your evaluation of Rob Thompson, where he doesn't tell the truth and he wants to pretend that things are all right for the benefit of not getting his players down. And sometimes you got to tell the truth and say, we're not performing to the expectations that these guys have for themselves and that I have for them. So let's give Rob Thompson, who talked about runners in scoring position, which the Phillies have failed. Certainly in this series, it was just totally eye-popping how they failed runners in scoring position. Here's Rob Thompson talking about that.
Yeah, it's just it's the randomness of the game. It really is. I mean, we're not going to tell guys to start swinging uphill.
Right.
Yeah, it's hit a ball hard, you hit a ball hard. It's like I was talking about prior to the game. The runners in scoring position number, it's skewed at some point because you take the inning where we got a runner at second base. Wilson hits a ball to the third baseman, right? That's all he can do. Trey comes up later, he hits a ball to the shortstop. That's all he can do. And so you're 0 for 2 in that situation. Well, I mean, they hit the ball hard. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, yeah, it's one thing hitting the ball hard. It's another thing hitting the ball on the ground to somebody. Maybe those hard hit balls get a little lift on it and they go over that guy's head into the left field. So, yeah, randomness, yeah, I guess. If you want to say it's hitting the ball hard, a one hopper to third base and one hopper to the shortstop is executing, then, all right, that's that your interpretation of it? Fine. Runners in scoring position struggles with randomness of baseball. The Mets didn't seem to have a problem with that. So the randomness was on the other side, or was it the clutch gene that they had more than the Phillies? Let's look at the second inning, excuse me. Bases loaded, 1 out. Now, good teams score. Good teams score in that situation. Bases loaded, 1 out. You got a plan in your head on what you have to do. And what you have to do, more than anything else, is get a run home. No matter how you do it, you got to put the ball in play somewhere to get a run home. You got to hit a fly ball to get a run home. That should be a plan in your head. That is part of a plan with runners in scoring position. Well, what happens? Rojas hits a short fly out, which puts now the onus on the next guy who grounds out and they get out of the inning. Bases loaded, 1 out. They don't score there, Bill. We want to go to the 4th inning. Rojas hits an RBI single. Turner has an RBI single. There's still 2 on with your best hitter at the plate. Harper grounds out. Runners in scoring position. Plan in your head. You want to move on to the 8th inning? 2 on. Kepler single. Castellanos thrown out at the plate. All right. It was a big hit, and it was a better throw by Sosa out there. But then we go to the 10th inning. Castellanos singles with the infield in after Harper steals third. A key moment. Harper made a great play there. Steals third. The Mets infield's in. That helps Castellanos get that single for a 3-2 lead. But then JT walks and Bohm singles. Bases loaded, 1 out. What do we get? The same situation as the 2nd inning. Stott, short fly out, no run scores. Kepler fly out for the 3rd out. Those kind of things are runners in scoring position. Plan in your head. Bases loaded, you should score.
Yeah, and you're right. I'm looking at the final numbers from the game. They're 5 for 12 with runners in scoring position, which at first blush, that's not too bad. But they didn't add on in these moments that you're talking about. That you got to take advantage when you have your opportunities. And there's no excuse when there's a guy on third with 1 out. You got to drive the ball to the outfield to get that run home. I agree with you.
There's one priority for Bryson Stott in that situation. There's one priority for Rojas in that situation. Get a pitch that you could do something with that will get you a run. That's it. That's the only plan that should be in your head. And you don't need a hitting coach to tell you that. You should be schooled enough to know that.
I agree with you. It's been a frustrating season to watch so far. And I get nervous, though, because I don't know how this improves. Like, I kept looking at this lineup and saying, there's no way that they're not going to go on a stretch run. And I still think that they'll win some games against the mediocre teams or the bad teams because there's a lot of them in Major League Baseball. You saw them beat up on the Rockies. You saw them beat up on the Marlins, even though it should have been worse. But against these better teams, I'm just not seeing that this team's going to be able to beat them.
All right, we'll talk about it. We'll focus on the draft today. We're going to have our own little draft here amongst us. But we're also going to analyze what the Eagles may do tonight and what players they could be targeting. And frankly, what's going to happen generally in this draft tonight. That's the exciting part. As an Eagle fan, I don't know if it's that exciting. But we'll talk about it. Here's how you get in. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. Look forward to your calls and your texts. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Hey everybody, it's Bill Colarulo. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel so you can engage during the show and you're not going to want to miss all the content that we post. It's not only the live videos, it's videos after the fact. It's our shorts. It's all the content you want as a Philadelphia sports fan. Looking forward to connecting.